morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday. Hello, I'm in my comfies today. I'm easing my way into the week. There is a lot on. We are officially on countdown to be inspired. We are just a couple of weeks away. I'm so excited. Apologies for the late start this morning. For some reason, StreamYard hasn't been my friend. So we started the ball rolling at 9:30, as we should have done. And all of a sudden, it wasn't being delivered to the correct destinations. But here we are. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient. I hope you are looking into the mouth of this week and seeing that it is bountiful, it is plentiful in opportunity for all of us this week. I'm very, very excited. I want to know, if you're watching along this morning, what are your plans for this week? I'm going to put my phone on, so I feel very ignorant. My phone all popping off, getting exciting. So what have you got planned for this week? What is going to make this week a win for you lot? I am interested to know what that's going to be. For me, last week it was about showing up, right? I was putting on my makeup. I was making sure I was turning out. This week is about sleeves up. I'm going to do that in comfort. I'm going to do that with my favorite hoodies, my favorite headscarves. I'm going to do that without a lot of makeup. I'm going to do that really focused, really eyes on the prize this week. So I'm running. I'm in my joggers. There is lots to do. There is lots to get prepared. But I had a bit of a weekend, didn't I? Did anybody see? Look, I did a thing. I feel like I'm belly flopping into midlife. Like, this is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm becoming a midlife crisis cliche. I'm just covering myself in tattoos and getting piercings. But I like it. Like, I am not sad about it. So yeah, I've been wanting a little nose piercing for ages and ages and ages. And I've been toying with the idea, not toying with the idea. I've told my team, I really want a nose piercing. And they were like, well, get your nose pierced then, Dan. I told my sister, I really want my nose. Well, just get your nose pierced then. And my niece was like, yeah, get your nose pierced. And I'm like, I don't want to be that girl that, I'm turning 40 this year. I'm going to be that girl that gets a nose pierced when she turns 40. But I love it. I feel like, where have I been? Where has this been all my life? Amy Blaine even said, I thought you had it done. Like, I didn't even think that was a thing that wasn't there before. But here it is, resplendent on my face without makeup this morning. But yeah, I'm digging on it. I'm absolutely digging on it. I feel like it's finishing off my look. Speaking of looks, I have now finished buying all of the costumes for Be Inspired. If you are coming along to Be Inspired, you will know that you're in for a treat, because, I have different segments in the day, different talks that I do, different songs that I sing, different messages. And often I will have a series of costumes that help tell the story, right? A series of props, the elevations that help me tell the stories that I'm going to tell. And boy, have I got some stories to tell you this Be Inspired. And boy, have I got some costumes. So yeah, my conservatory now for the past couple of weeks, and it will be for the next few weeks, is awash. There's a massive big like industrial clothes rail, just awash with all different types of costumes. So I'm very excited that the final purchases have been made. I've got the surprises in the bag. So yeah, how are you doing? Who has got their ticket to Be Inspired? Who's coming along? Who has yet to get their tickets? We are down to 6 tickets. Then we are sold out. A couple of you have jumped off the fence over the weekend and grabbed yourself a ticket. Well done, you. But yeah, we are 6 tickets away. And to talk to us this morning about one of, we've got fantastic table holders. We've got one of our table hosts on the show this morning to come and chat to us about her and what she gets up to and the people that are going to be joining her on her table. One of the things that I love is that we have so many table hosts this time. So many table hosts. So many people have gone, do you know what? I know I can get 10 of my mates together and we're going to have an absolute scream. Or I have a business whereby I can host a number of my clients, for example. There's been so many people that have capitalized on that opportunity this time with all of those perks, being a table host. And one of those people is Ali Knight. Good morning, gorgeous one. Hello.
Hello, gorgeous one. Speaking of nose piercings.
I was just going to say, we're in the nose piercing club. We got the same side done as well. We're like matchy nose piercing twins.
I love mine. I do not regret it, and you won't either.
When did you get yours done?
It was, I think, it's either my 40th or my 44th. And I did that thing where I snuck off. I told no one except my best friend who came with me.
Right.
Didn't tell my then husband, didn't tell my then children. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I was like,
you could swear. You're on the Short Rise Up show. We dropped the odd fuck or bugger.
I was like, fuck this. I'm doing it. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about it. This is for me. It's mine. And off I trotted and have not looked back.
Exactly what I did. Like, Saturday morning. Today's the day. Took the kids. We went to Waterstones, bought some books. We've had a lovely weekend, spending some time together, just pressing pause. And it's important to press pause when we're in the run up to something big. Went to Waterstones, and I was like, right, you lot, Mummy's going to go and get a nose pierce because that's what you take your kids to do on a Saturday afternoon. And that's what I did. And they sat with me and they held me hand, and I was very brave. And I had my nose pierced. But we are not on the show this morning to talk about our nose piercing. Ali Knight, we're here to talk about you. Ali, you are one of our phenomenal table hosts at Be Inspired. And thank you so much for grabbing yourself a table. And you're going to be hosting some phenomenal human beings on your table. Tell us a little bit more about you. I want to know more about you.
It's so lovely to be here. Thank you for having me. I am an intuitive soul coach and empowerment specialist. So I suppose I would say my point of existing in this kind of space is to really help people see who they truly are. And I do that by blending the spiritual with the practical.
Yeah.
To help people really know their truth and to live from that place unapologetically, whatever that looks like.
Right. And sometimes it's a really difficult thing to do to the lay person. That they might hear that and go, well, I just roll through life and just make decisions and I just do my thing. But actually, when you begin to start to, and I've done this a lot lately, Ali, starting to look at yourself with intention and think about, if we talk about soul and the fact that, we're here for a finite amount of time. And if we think of ourselves as energetic beings, our soul is the bit that can't be created and can't be extinguished one way or another, but it's here in this sort of window of opportunity to do something. And if we are blindly rolling through life and not listening to it, that which has been here before and will be here after, having this human experience, this particular point in time, how do we make the most of that human experience whilst we're really lucky to be able to have it? And starting to tap in and listen to that is really important.
I think it's the thing, and it's a really hard thing to get your head around, right? We're totally conditioned and trained, if you like, to operate from here. We're told at school, we're told when we grow up, we're told via social media and all the things that our mind is champion. And we kind of are not told, unless we have the opportunity to be told, that our mind is just a programmed computer, and that program can have glitches and bugs and sometimes be programmed in a way that isn't necessarily going to light us up.
Right.
And that happens for everyone. And some of that conditioning can be great, and some of it can maybe not be so great and can really limit us. So I talk about discerning the difference between sort of head and heart or mind and soul. I firmly believe we're a soul in a body here to have a human experience, and part of the body involves our brain and our mind, and that's a brilliant co-pilot. Brilliant.
But really difficult to extract ourselves from, right? And that, for anybody watching along, flipping out, we went deep quick this morning, but no one can have a conversation with Ali Knight and not, which is one of the beautiful things about you. One of the things that I absolutely adore is that, we're going in when we're going in, right? We're going to talk about these things. And I think that what we find very difficult is the thing that speaks to us all the time, the constant chatter, is very hard to separate ourselves from it. And that might feel a bit strange in the first instance, to drop down into knowing that we actually know more than we give ourselves credit for. And being in this headspace all the time, in this logical space, has us living in a lot of fear, and we're often two-stepping with ourselves, unsure, when actually for a lot of times we know. And I think that's what that dropping down is about, isn't it? It's about understanding that, I've had that conversation with so many of my speakers lately, that at this point in the process, when we're just about to head onto the stage at Be Inspired, it's nothing to do with learning anymore. It's nothing to do with up here stuff. I'm not worried about anybody's talks, not worried about anybody delivering. It's a trust exercise now. And I think that's what you help people unlock, isn't it? That intrinsic trust of self, right?
Yeah. Trust, faith, intuitive nudges, which are so valid and available to all of us if we can stop for long enough. And my mantra is, question everything that you think you have been taught, question everything you think you know at a sort of logical level. And like you say, drop down and start to just listen to the knowing versus the thinking. They're two different things, and sometimes they work beautifully together. And sometimes you'll sense that something's off, for example, but your mind may continue you down a safe path because that's its job. It's
keep you alive, keep you safe.
And that means keeping us really tightly tucked into our comfort zone very often. So we do live much more from a place of fear and expecting any threat, if you like. Whereas at soul level, we inherently know that everything's happening for us, that we're here for a reason, and that there's no wrong move.
Yeah. And
I find such massive relief in being able to kind of ground myself in that belief, if you like.
Yeah.
Having to know all the answers immediately, because that's one of the ways in which we most trip ourselves up, that we have to be perfect and we have to get it right and we can't make any mistakes. We have to know exactly what to do in the right order. And my experience of life and the experience of my clients is that that's just not true. It's just not real.
I find it fascinating. I was making sushi with the kids yesterday, right? This is a tenuous link, but it's definitely a link.
As you do.
Right. So Ivy is really bougie. If anybody's met Ivy's my youngest one. She's properly bougie. She loves sushi. So she's like, Mummy, can we make sushi? I'll say to the other kids, right, well, it's just rice and then whatever it is that you want with it. So we'll make the rice, we'll dress the rice with mirin, and then you can have some avocado, cucumber, whatever. Now, Daisy, my middle one, struggles with chaos. She likes things to be right, and she likes things to be just so. And that a lot of that's rooted in how chaotic things were for me when she was in my belly, when I was pregnant with her, how chaotic things were for the first couple of years of her life. And a lot of those checks that I wrote then, she's cashing in now, right? When we're making sushi. So this sushi is not turning out aesthetically how she wants it to turn out. Nothing's happening right. So the nori, the seaweed's all starting to like fall apart. It's when she's trying to slice it, the knife isn't sharp enough. So it's all going to smush. And she's getting more and more panicked because it's not turning out how she wanted it to turn out. And when I just said it's going to taste the same regardless of what it looks like. Everything that you've put on the bamboo sheet there, close your eyes, it's going to taste the same as the sushi if it looked perfect or not. She got so bound up in needing it to be the way that she needed it to be. And I think that, for a lot of our kids who've experienced chaos from like a post-COVID situation, that was really chaotic for a lot of people, that we need that now more than ever. And our kids need that now more than ever, that tapping into what we think the world should be versus the knowing that we actually know stuff, knowing that we are wise. And I just love that that's what you help people with. How did you come to that work, Ali?
Oh God, through utter desperation.
Right. Most of us do fall into our life's work through desperation, right? The help isn't there, so we make it.
Exactly. So I won't give you the full details because it'd take me the whole show to do that. But long story short, I have a background as a mental health nurse. And yet when my kids were born, and due to a number of external events that all conspired to happen at the same time, I became completely racked with anxious thinking. Right. That went on for about 8 years. So I'm a mental health nurse. I'm sitting with all this anxious thought and overwhelm and complete just horribleness, and not even recognizing it for what it was, and reached that sort of snap point where I was like, the only thing that's going to change how I feel is me doing something differently.
Yeah.
And so I arrived at a morning practice where, given how exhausted I was, I'd get up like half an hour before the babies, so that I had 30 minutes just to myself every day.
Yeah.
And I meditated and journaled, and everything grew from there.
Right.
But it came from a place of just desperately needing to feel better.
Right.
That one little tiny practice became the catalyst for just this massive period of expansion, awakening, understanding who I am rather than what I am.
Yeah.
Which is what I help clients to do now. Like, hey, hang on, excavate, never mind your roles, your functions, your labels, the boxes you've put yourself in or been put in. Who are you at your core? Who are you underneath all of that? Because we find such beauty, such love, such gorgeousness.
Love it. Gorgeousness.
When we let go of that, of those labels.
Yeah.
Those sort of very linear, controlled ways that we've been told we should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, isn't it, that the two things that we're often frightened of doing is shutting the fuck up and listening, even to ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're in constant chatter, right? So shutting the fuck up and listening to ourselves and helping ourselves listen to ourselves by externally processing, by writing things down or talking things out. If if writing isn't for you, finding ways to externalize some of those thoughts, because when you're in your head, it's noisy, it's loud, and it's difficult to navigate. And when you start to be still and start to listen, and God, that kind of practice has saved my life in the past 4 weeks. The stopping, the listening, the questioning everything, that, are the decisions that I'm making the right decisions with the right intention? Am I feeling good about it? The immediate decision might not feel good, but is the outcome of those decisions going to be good for the greater good, for the better? Do I have to do difficult things now in order for things to be fantastic later on? And when we shut the fuck up and start listening to ourselves, that's when the magic happens, isn't it?
Absolutely. And our heart sort of center it's intuitively connected. So whereas our brain can do the logical analysis, and we could do a pros and cons list, and there's nothing wrong with these techniques if they work for you. But it's only, our logic is only based on what we've already experienced or read or consumed or absorbed from elsewhere. Our heart, if we stop for long enough, and it takes a few minutes, that's all, if that, and ask a question, we will notice there'll be an awareness at our heart center. We'll notice either an expansion or a contraction. It might be really subtle, or it might be huge, or anything in between. But that is where our answers need to come from. If we contract, if everything constricts, I read that as a no. If there's an opening or a lifting or almost like a sigh of relief, then it's a yes.
Absolutely.
Our brain might not like that. And so it does take courage. It takes real courage to listen in that way. The more we practice, the more it becomes easy, the more it becomes instinctive and automatic. And I think that's where we find our joy, we can live from love, we can know that fear is there, but we don't have to be ruled by it.
Right.
We get to make conscious choices then.
I love that. I love that. And what a beautiful way of thinking to start the week off. If you're watching out there, the challenge I have for you this week is to start to listen, is to start to drop down and, of course, connect with our gorgeous Ali Knight, who has a table at Be Inspired. You're hosting one of our fabulous tables. You've got some fabulous people coming along. Are you excited?
I cannot wait. It was a no-brainer to get a whole table, and I have seats left on my table if anybody needs a ticket, because you're nearly sold out, I think.
Yeah, I've only got 6 tickets left, and you can save yourself some money by actually getting in touch with Ali and getting them at that discounted table rate. So I know there was a few of you asking in the Hive, did anybody have any spaces left on their tables? Ali does. So please get in touch. If you're listening along, you're thinking, oh, I really need to be inspired, I need to grab my ticket. It's better for you to get in touch with Ali and grab a space on her table, even than it is going on to imthequeenbee.co.uk and getting your ticket from there. Get in touch with Ali. She's got a couple of spaces. I know some of you were asking, so
I'm like that. Come on.
Absolutely. If you want to spend some time with this glorious human over a couple of days at Be Inspired, then that's a perk in and of itself. Ali, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
I know. I can't wait either. I'm excited.
How do people find you if they want to get in touch?
I'm in the Hive, obviously, or aliknightcoaching.com.
Amazing. Well, lots of love, my darling. I will see you at Be Inspired.
Take care.
That was the glorious Ali Knight. And what a really cool conversation to start this week off with, right? We're in our chill. We're in our zen. We are dropping down into really listening to ourselves. What are your goals this week based on that? Take away all the bullshit. Take away all the noise in your head. Take away all the fear and think, what is it that I want to get out of this week? For me, I want as many of you as possible to get into my WhatsApp chat, which will be opening up today. For those of you that are taking part in the Race to Recurring Revenue with Lisa Johnson kicking off next week. If you are wanting to make more money in your business, if you're wanting to find out how to generate recurring revenue and semi-passive income within your business, whether you have a business or not, you don't need to have a business to come and get involved in this. In fact, some of the most exciting businesses and business ideas have been generated and created off of the back of participating in Race to Recurring Revenue, regardless of when those people didn't even have a business idea. So it's a really cool week where Lisa facilitates and teaches you how to generate those ideas, what to think about, and then helps you get the ball rolling. For those of you that join up through my affiliate link, that sign up, it's completely free. We'll pop you in a WhatsApp chat with me where I will be here to be your sounding board as you participate in that challenge. So you get a bee in your pocket, you get a little bit of me, you will also get my entire team in your pocket. So the phenomenal Anna Fox, you'll get Danielle Hansen for Pretty Practical Business, and also you'll get the wonderful Beth Thompson. So you'll not only have me as a sounding board, Beth will be in there from a marketing perspective. She's a marketeer extraordinaire. We've also got, from a strategic and business perspective, we've got Danielle in there. And from somebody who knows me inside out, from somebody who knows the IATQB business inside out, we've got Anna in there as well. So if you have not already signed up to Race to Recurring Revenue, check out the link on my Instagram profile. Go and join up today. Send me a screenshot when you have, and we will pop you into our WhatsApp group, which is opening today as we get excited for the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge, which kicks off next week. All right, my darlings, I love you very much. Have a smasher. I'm so excited to get onto my team meetings this morning and get everybody G'd up and fired up for the week. We are doing big things as a team, and I know you lot are doing big things too. Let's do big things together. Have a phenomenal week. I'll see you on Wednesday for more showing up, wising up, and rising up. Take care.